Hello, welcome to another episode of Prescribing Lifestyle Podcast. Today, I'm going to share with you a masterclass that I did with Charlene Lester, who's a health coach, on the 27th of March, 2024. Charlene is the founder of EmpowerMed Wellness Group. They focus on burnout prevention, holistic weight loss through carnivore, low carb, and keto. Charlene's going to share her personal journey, including a domestic violence marriage, a marriage breakup, her personal health challenges, and how she became a coach. She became an NLP practitioner, which stands for Neuro-Linguistic programming, and she looked into hypnotherapy and became a hypnotherapist. In this masterclass, we're going to talk about her personal journey, her health challenges, how she manages mindset, and some tips, and answering some questions from the masterclass on how to manage your mindset. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Charlene's going to be one of the speakers on my low carb dinner on 18th of May 2024. Please join us, buy a ticket. I look forward to seeing you. Hope you enjoy this. So let me introduce Charlene. Charlene is the founder of Empowered Wellness Group. She focuses on burnout prevention and holistic weight loss through carnivore, low carb, or keto approaches. She's got over 30 years of nursing and certified as a coach, an NLP practitioner, and a hypnotherapist. Charlene has dedicated her career in helping others to optimize their health and wellness. So Charlene's journey began during a challenging period in her life when she had a marriage breakdown. And through her personal development and self-discovery, she found solace and purpose in empowering others to take control of their health and well-being. Discovering the power of the carnivore lifestyle transformed Charlene's own health, no longer enslaved by sugar cravings or carb dependence. She found newfound energy and vitality. Implementing intermittent fasting had further amplified the benefits of what she's teaching and relieving her troublesome hot flushes. So I'm going to ask Charlene to introduce herself and a quick introduction on her journey, and tell us about yourself, Charlene.
Thank you, Dr. Ava. My name's Charlene. I come from a diverse background of I'm English and I've got Irish from my dad and some French from my grandmother. So a pivoting moment was about 5 years ago when I connected with my dad, and this brought new meaning to my life. So as mentioned, over 30 years I've worked in nursing, including emergency departments, cardiology and neurosurgery. And I've witnessed firsthand the profound impact our health has on our mindset and our lives. I faced many challenges. From a toxic marriage, I actually faced PCOS and I was unable to have children from this. So navigating my complexity of leaving a domestic violence loss and some physical health struggles, I embarked on a 7-year journey to find out who I was and self-discovery. It was during this time that I realised the power of mindset, self-love, and overcoming adversity. So in the midst of the pandemic and lockdown, I actually took it upon myself and enrolled in college and decided to do coaching, and this has become a transformative journey in itself. And I started the Empowered Med Wellness Group and the Zero Carb Zen program for low carb, keto, and low carb, keto, and carnivore. I believe in their holistic approach of the mind, body, and soul, as our whole body is these three complexities all together. And it also reignited my passion for nutrition, which I had when I was in high school as well. So driven by this, I founded the new Empowered Med Wellness Group on social media and shared my journey. I've been influenced by figures like Dr. Ken Berry and Dr. Anthony Chafer, as a lot of people have heard of, and Thomas DeLara. So they both have advocated the holistic approach. I have also opened a YouTube channel, and this helps, I feel, to strive with meditation and education through practical lifestyle changes. I firmly believe that the holistic approach to wellness, including keto, carnivore, and low carb, can help individuals transform their life through their mind and their body and their spirits. So, through this testimony of my own power of resilience, self love, and unwavering belief that we all have that capacity to rewrite our stories and create lives filled with health, happiness, and empowerment. And this is why I continue to share my story and inspire others, because having been from someone who had no self esteem to someone who believes that they can do anything, this is one of my reasons to do what I do. This is my why.
That is amazing, Charlene. That is a great journey. Not the domestic violence and the marriage breakup bit, but sounds like you've overcome the adversity and found a new self. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
definitely. Thank you. I feel, even though the stuff some of the negative, I actually feel if I hadn't been through it, I wouldn't be who I was now. So I believe
Yeah.
sometimes we go through adversity to come out the other side.
What made you take up health coaching and suddenly think about nutrition?
I did do some nutrition in high school and actually did some through the college in Sydney as well. And I did a diet technician's course as well long ago. So I was always interested in it. I love cooking, and I feel the combination to combine both. And then I also, having been a nurse and seeing people taking tablets and understanding that we can reverse conditions through nutrition and our own body, into, like to treat our body the way it should be, and a more open, natural way.
That's great. You said in your nursing, what sort of nurse have you been, and what have you been seeing that has made you interested in this?
I've worked in ED, emergency. I've worked also doing pathology and doing discharge nursing, trauma wards. I think it was just seeing how people they just seemed stuck, and there was nothing there to actually help them and just empower them and guide them. It just seemed to be the system, and that's what has given me the passion to do what I do, is to change someone's life, and they have the power within them. I'm just a guide. It's about them guiding themselves, and with a little bit of education and just, yeah, changing their mindset, and because everybody's doing the best they can with where they are at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think sometimes we just need to point people in the right direction. They just need a bit of coaching. Quite a lot of them, they know what to do, and we need to just help them, encourage them, and they are doing the best at what they're doing. And if we give them some guidance, and they are on the right path already. I see
Yes,
quite a lot of that already.
I totally agree with you. Sometimes it's just coaching and guidance, and that's it. It works wonders for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Some people do amazing transformation just from a very quick 10-minute consultation. Sometimes some people need a bit of help, but everyone is different. Some people need more help. Yeah, so that's amazing sharing your journey. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you've done NLP. Tell us what NLP, neuro-linguistic programming is.
So Neuro-Linguistic program, totally a game for me when I did this. The course, total game changer as well. Like, it changes your neurological process. So neuro means sight. Linguistic can mean like not just talking. It can mean sights, like as in signs. When you read a sign, that's also linguistic as well. And even hearing music, and music is linguistic as well, because we use our eyes, hearing, and also sensitivity. So when we sense something. And then also programming actually means habit. So neuro-linguistic program means habits. So that's what it is, reprogramming our habits. So yeah, it's quite interesting, and we use all different behaviors. It can change our behaviors, overcome challenges, achieve goals, and help transform our lives. So it's like using the neuroplasticity of the brain, and we all are very we've all got this capability. And there was one story that I read in my training of someone who had had a stroke, and then they actually had learnt to walk again through the other side of their brain that didn't have the stroke. So
Wow, that's
yeah, so
amazing.
it's very powerful.
So
Yeah.
relearning from your brain, is that
Yeah, relearning. And I would describe it as when you walk through a bush track and there's a bush track that's already there. So it's
mm,
easy to walk through. So that's what your thoughts and beliefs are now. But when you're creating a new one, it's like creating a new bush track. So you've got to go through all the bush again. And it just takes a little bit, it takes some work to get that track in your brain. So it can take up to a month to actually get for you to start having the neuroplasticity and the cells connecting in your brain. So yeah,
mm. So it's like walking on a track and then you want to find a new track.
yeah,
Then you find a different bush track. You've got to hack the bush to
yeah.
create a new track. Is that a good analogy?
That's a good analogy. I think that's the best way to describe it. If anyone's ever been bushwalking, so
Great, that's awesome. Now everyone's allowed to ask questions in the chat function. Now, Kath asked, do you use NLP in your coaching?
I do use NLP in my coaching. I do have a coaching program as such that is can be used or comprehensively with the coaching NLP and hypnosis, or just the NLP on its own, depending on what
Wow.
the client would like. Yes.
Give us some example on how you can do NLP.
NLP you can actually use as in changing behaviors. So you can go from like to dislike. So if you want to, you can't actually use a food group, but you can use, say, chocolate. So you can actually use like to dislike. So say you don't want to eat chocolate again, you can do that over a few sessions to change that. Or if someone has alcohol, they can actually use it with that as well. So it has to be a specific food because your brain doesn't recognize the food groups in that way.
All right. So if I want to stay away from sweets and sugars, I can NLP train to dislike the sweets.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Or we can actually use NLP to identify your limiting beliefs that are connected to weight loss and transformation, and obviously, and also as you feel about yourself. So any limited beliefs connected to your self-belief and self-love and caring, and yeah, in that sense. And
Right.
any other
Yeah.
blocks, any other mental blocks that you have connected to weight loss or health.
Yep. Yep. So let's say somebody keep thinking, oh, this is too hard. I can't do it. I have to have my bread. So we can teach ourselves that this is a limiting thought. We don't have to think like that.
And that's correct. And we can also reframe it too. So we can reframe, like if someone said they didn't like bread, you could actually turn around, well, I actually, not that I don't want to not have bread, or I choose not to have bread, or bread, if I have bread, it makes me feel like this. And then you can reframe it so it's in a positive way.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Yeah. That's great. Now, Kat's next question is, how does hypnosis work in coaching? I think, first of all, we need to define what hypnosis is, because people think hypnosis is your being hypnotized and then you go do walking and sleepwalking or like a stage thing. Tell us what hypnosis do in your teaching.
Hypnosis in coaching is actually awareness of our own state. So our emotions are actually, we're in a state of hypnosis where we're in an emotional state. So it's actually a physical state. So, and you can't actually be hypnotized unless you actually choose to be. And one of the other misconceptions is when you're hypnotized that you can tell secrets. That doesn't happen. So it's actually more a state of your being. So even when you're in meditation, that's hypnosis. Or if you've listened to a song and you just get into that state, that's hypnosis as well. So we actually are in a quiet of it, but we don't realize it. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, yeah. And so hypnosis can be used like in weight loss and also to use it. There's actually like I have a 5 sessions where you go over the weight loss, and you actually can start off with some people very resistant to hypnosis, and you start with just talking to the client, and you slowly work through it. So there are all different types of, there's negative to positive hypnosis you can actually use, and then also when you can also do hypnosis and you get someone to drink water all the time. So every time they drink water, they think in their brain that they're getting thinner and thinner. So it's actually like encouraging them not to reach for unhealthy foods.
Oh,
So yeah,
wow.
and it's very quite, it's very, because I've had it done on myself, and it's very empowering as well. So when you go through it, and are you aware when you're hypnotized, it actually feels like you're in just this really comfortable state. You don't actually think you are being hypnotized, but you're just feeling very comfortable within yourself, relaxed.
Wow. So how do you use hypnosis in your coaching? You hypnotize somebody? Is that what you
Yes,
do?
I do hypnotize somebody.
Okay.
Don't turn people into chickens or anything. So it's definitely about, I use like in the enlightened theory, and there's also something called the 10 commandments as well. Like these are different stages. Like you first introduce someone to hypnosis like slowly, and then each session it goes a little bit deeper. So, and it's called conscious hypnosis. So it's that's when we recognize that we're in that trance and we align with our vision and goal.
Okay. So you have to let that person hypnotize you before you can be hypnotized, you said.
We have to actually ask permission. So you
Okay.
actually ask someone, are
Yeah.
you ready to be hypnotized?
Hmm.
And they say yes, and ask if they've done it before, and they say yes or no. And so you must get consent for hypnosis and NLP, because it goes into your subconscious mind, so it knows that it's actually saying yes.
Wow, that's amazing. So the next question from Caroline is, how aware are you when you are hypnotized? Are you aware of being
You're aware that
hypnotized?
you're comfortable, but then when there is a point where you actually, you can put your hand on your leg in one of the hypnotized therapies, and you can actually feel your hand go on your leg. Apart from that, you just feel like you're in this comfortable, very comfortable spot, and you're very relaxed. But then there was another one that I did experience, and there were some emotions that came up, but you understand the emotions. Like when emotions come up at any time, it's your subconscious bringing them up, that they're ready for you to address them.
All right. So give us some example of what emotions might come up.
Sometimes tears will come up
Mm,
from something that made you sad, and some very positive things as well. So you're smiling. So it's whatever that person is feeling at the time, that as they're going through the state of the hypnosis and the conscious hypnosis therapy. So it,
wow.
everybody has a different journey, and they're all at different spots in their journey. So yes,
Okay, yeah. Where
yeah.
do you learn all this? You did courses with NLP and hypnosis, obviously.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I learnt them at the Life Coaching College, and DJ Jackson, who was our teacher, he's actually got over 30 years experience doing hypnosis.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, he was like very, just a very intriguing and powerful, very powerful what he was teaching, and understanding that everything, one quote that he said, we actually make our decisions based on our questions that we ask ourselves.
Great. Caroline also says, what is the difference between the hypnosis that you're talking about to what we see on TV?
You mean like the Las Vegas
Yeah.
hypnosis?
I think
Yeah,
that's dramatized version
yeah.
of hypnosis.
Um, this is conscious hypnosis. So this is more therapy, whereas apparently from what my understanding when I did the course, that hypnosis was actually used as therapy like 80 years ago. So this is more therapy, whereas obviously the what you see like hypnosis at Las Vegas is more entertainment. So there's still, yeah, so it's still the same but similar, but not. No one uses, yeah, it's just
Not the
been
same.
glamorized in that way. Yeah.
Great. Tell us, you've been hypnotized and what does it feel like to you? And a little bit of a story on how you've changed.
I've been hypnotized and I found afterwards that during the process, it just felt I actually do meditation as well. At one stage, I actually saw, I think you see like a white light or something. So I went deeper than when I had deeply gone into meditation. So I actually found that it was even deeper than meditation. So that was the first thing I experienced. And yeah, it was sort of like I thought too. I was like, how do I know I was being hypnotized? And it wasn't until I came out of it that I realized I was. And when I came out of it, there was one stage where my body actually shook, and I'd never had that before. And it was like my body had released whatever needed to be released. And I just came out of it totally different from what I needed
Wow.
to experience at the time. Yeah.
Do you have to have somebody in face to face to hypnotize you?
I can do it. We do it over Zoom, but you usually sit on an angle with each other, so you're not exactly face to face.
All right.
So yeah,
Sure. So Zoom or face to face, it doesn't matter.
yeah, yeah. It doesn't matter.
All right. Have you got any stories on any success stories on what happened to some people that they've been hypnotized?
I've seen people that actually have been hypnotized and how they've like changed their just how they've changed in their own manner in themselves. I've seen those sort of results with people, and it's just like it's like the brain works in a different way because you've reached the subconscious that we can't get to the subconscious unless it's in like hypnosis or NLP
Mm-hmm.
or even in deep meditation because meditation can get to our subconscious too.
Great. So with meditation, I religiously meditate every morning. I hold a coffee and I usually put a guided meditation on for 5 minutes first thing in the morning with the coffee. So that's my routine meditation. And I tell myself if there's thoughts coming in, it doesn't matter. So quite often there's to-do list and I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And I tell myself it doesn't matter. And I don't think I get into your hypnosis state. What do you think?
I've actually done Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations, and they go from 20 minutes to an hour and a half. And
Wow.
I've got into those, and they're very deep, and it takes about 20 minutes to go through your brain waves. So
Ah.
you actually have brain waves. So once you're in that, just before you go to sleep, you hit that stage where your subconscious is open, and the same when you wake up and you do meditation. When you first woken up, it's just that window to get to your subconscious. And as you do that when you're doing your meditation, so about 20 minutes in, your mind starts to get into that state, and then you're more open to whatever the guided meditation is giving you. And yeah, I found it literally does rewire your brain thoughts and your
Wow.
limited beliefs. Yeah.
So you
So
think yep,
sorry,
sorry.
go on.
You think it takes 20 minutes to get into the mind state, to get into the brain waves?
I think it depends how much practice you've had. I mean, obviously, if you've done it for a while, it's really easy. That's why meditation takes practice. It's the same as yoga, it takes practice.
Yes. Yep.
You very rarely could do it over a week and still reach that stage unless you've been doing it before. So,
Mm.
but I'm very big on meditation myself too, and you can use it for so many different things.
Great. I just don't have the time to sit for 20 or 30 or an hour to do meditation is my thing. But 5 minutes, I feel pretty happy that I've done a 5 minute meditation first thing in the morning. Tell us, our participants, what is your meditation routine or what do you do? You can tell us in the chat. Maybe Charlene, you can tell us what you do for your own meditation routine.
For me, I do a 10-15 minute meditation in the morning, depending what time I start work. If I don't get time for that, I actually listen to affirmations. So I'm still rewiring my brain. Um, and I use an app as well, and I use YouTube. There's a lot of different ones on there. And then at night, I will do a different meditation depending on what I feel my needs are at the time. So I might
Oh,
do a
wow.
self-love or a heart-mind coherence or a healing meditation. It depends on where I am in my own journey.
Okay.
And then I will often put on like something on like affirmations to go to sleep with because your subconscious is still awake. So you're still feeding your subconscious. So yeah, I've been doing that for years.
Great. Um, is there any app that you use?
I would recommend to begin. I started with the Calm app, and that's what actually I used to get nightmares at the beginning of my journey after I left my marriage. And I found through doing meditation that using the Calm app that actually rewired my brain, and I sleep all the way through every night now. So yeah,
Wow.
it's and Calm has actually got a beginner's meditation as well. So it can help someone who's only just starting as well.
Great. I use Insight Timer. So Insight
Okay.
Timer's got just a timer function that there's nothing there, or you can do a gong if you like. Or you can do pick guided meditation, or you can pick music. So and you can choose the length of the meditation that you can choose, and it's free. There are paid things that you can use on Insight Timer, but I just use the free version. So yeah, Kat says my coffee will be cold. It's not true. My coffee is still warm because I hold it like that. It's only 5 minutes that I'm up to. Great. That's awesome, Charlene.
Thank you. I was going to say I did have a story when we are in lockdown. I did meditation one day, and it's actually on the Calm app, and it was actually called the Zen meditation, and you're like flying above a canyon, and I think it was like for an hour and a half because we're in lockdown, we couldn't go anywhere. So I thought sit and do a meditation, and it was just yeah. When I came back, was quite it was great. It was called the Zen Quest. So yeah.
Wow. So you feel like you were flying above the clouds.
Yeah.
That's great. What about burnout? So Joanne asks, what are some of the strategies do you use to prevent burnout? Is that something you said on your journey that you had burnout and you help others preventing burnout?
Definitely I use the sleep app as well to make sure you can actually count, like see how much sleep you need. So that way you can check that it's not interrupted. Good nutrition and exercise, and also stress to keep a journal. So you know if you know where you're feeling the stress, or you could write it all out. Keep the nutrition really healthy, and this is probably sometimes, yeah, definitely getting rid of people that can be causing you that stress is if you've got certain toxic people, which I've had to do in my own life, because they can actually lead to burnout as well. And then hopefully now a lot of workplaces have fatigue training, so they can teach you on fatigue training as well. So you recognize the signs of fatigue as well.
All right. What's fatigue training? What sort of um, training is that?
It's training so you recognize fatigue. So if you've got tired eyes or like you're just feeling like you're not concentrating, it's like when you
Mm.
drive for over 2 hours
Yeah.
and you get that feeling where you can't concentrate, you're getting a headache, your eyes are starting to blink, they go watery, just things like that. So you recognize the point. And also, you may, if you've got it at work, you feel depressed, you don't feel motivated. It's
Hmm.
just like life just doesn't feel fulfilling and you feel stuck. So this can be related to burnout as well.
Yeah, yeah. So burnout is often working too hard, asking too much of yourself, and just not realizing that you need to rest.
That's right. And sometimes emotional burnout as well, which can coincide with the physical burnout.
Yeah. What do you think causes the emotional burnout? Give us some example.
I would say trauma,
Mm.
definitely.
Yep.
And obviously, if you work in a very high stress job or situation and you don't get a chance to offload and just, yeah, you don't get a chance to offload and talk to someone about it and just work through it. Because sometimes people are in jobs where, like ambulance officers and doctors and
Mm,
yeah, firefighters see things, and people that are in other jobs that do see other things that may lead to burnout because they've not been able to cope with what they've seen.
yeah. So you are a nurse and you've worked with medical professionals. You would have seen lots of burnouts and things like that.
Yes, yeah, I've seen lots of burnout, and I've spoken to someone who's actually a teacher, and she said the teachers are experiencing it as well at the moment, which teachers never
Yeah.
used to experience burnout. Now they do.
I heard there's lots of burnout during COVID. I think things
Yeah,
still aren't really better.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyone got any
I did.
shares? Yep. Sorry, anyone got any stories to share? Put in the chat and you can share with us if you've got any stories of burnt out. Sorry, Charlene?
Sorry, I was going to say I agree with you. There's still so much burnout there at the moment.
Mm,
It's very prevalent. Everybody feels really pushed.
yeah. I just see lots of mums that just trying to juggle with kids and work and business and they drop off, pick up and so much to do. And they just quit pushing themselves and they try to do keto, low carb, and their weight isn't losing and they wonder what's going on. And I just try to tell them this is your stress. If you're stressed, you can't lose weight because your body wants to hold on to everything. You've got to try and rest and self-compassion, slow down, and try to not ask yourself of too much.
That's exactly right. It comes back to self-love and self-compassion and putting ourselves first. Like even if it's for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, even in little bits, that still counts. It can still build up, and the way you have that self-love and you can release the stress or even do breathing exercises as well. Like that can help release the stress as well. So every little bit helps.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I talk about breathing a lot. I teach people to slow down their breathing and do some box breathing or breathing exercises. Some quite often that can improve their parasympathetic nervous system, improve their gut health, and promote their rest and digest. Yeah, so I think that's really important.
Yeah, breath work is amazing.
Do
Totally.
you teach breath work yourself?
Not at the moment, but I do know another coach that does. But I know at the beginning of Dr. Joe's meditation, he does breath work. So,
Okay.
and I've learned some breath work because there is some in the hypnosis, and I've learned it for myself as well. So it actually, I use it sometimes going before bed because it just calms you down so much. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I do too.
yeah,
Sometimes I just
yeah,
do a 2 or 3 minutes of box breathing. So hold for 4 seconds, breathe in for 4 seconds, hold again for 4 seconds, and breathe out for 4 seconds. So I do a box breathing. Sometimes it's just 1 or 2 minutes, then I fall asleep.
yeah, because it's so relaxing. It's like, But I have had
Yeah.
a patient of mine because I do still do some community nursing, and her son had his car stolen, and she was still very upset. And this lady was a very elderly lady, and I actually sat there and talked her through the breathing, and then asked her to do some, as she was doing the breathing, to imagine a place that was her place, like wherever she was comfortable. And she thought of this blue, she said blue water, or she could see it was this blue water. And I could see this smile on her face as she had, and her body just dropped. She was so relaxed. And after
Wow.
that, she was just so, you could see all the stress had just melted away. It was amazing.
Wow, that's amazing. So Melissa has made a comment that she was an emergency nurse and then an ED manager, emergency department, and suffered burnt out. The best thing for her was to recognize this and resign, which she did, and missed my colleague a lot. She took 4 months off and did a lot of self-love exercise, immersed myself in family and focused on my health, and it was so great for me personally. So that's great. Great. Good on you, Melissa, for realizing that and knowing that and taking time off and doing some self-discovery. That's great.
Personal development, self-discovery is just an amazing tool. And when you do it, as you find out when you need it, you do it. It just can change everything. And
Yeah,
congratulations, Melissa. Well done.
great. I've had another patient who had surgery and took a long time to recover, and he's taken a year off to look after his health and try and get back into running. And I applaud him for taking the time off and doing some self-discovery, self-healing. That's amazing. I think that's probably the best that you can do, but I don't know that many people can take so much time off and stop making money.
I feel that, yeah, a lot of people may not be able to do it, but if you do little bits each day, then you could at least start changing, and changing how you treat your body and treat yourself, and those limited beliefs. And then when you're ready, then you could change jobs or move it, like whatever your desire is. It's basically, from what I learned in my NLP, everything we do in our brain is everything we've made up. So it's
Mm,
not, no limited belief is right or wrong. It's just what we've made up in our own brain. So it's quite interesting.
yeah, and quite often what we've been telling ourselves is what we've learned over the many, many years. And usually it's negative thoughts. I think we have
Yeah,
more negative thoughts than positive thoughts, and we have more limiting beliefs than possible beliefs. And our mind is always telling us that we're not good enough, this is bad, and this is we try that our mind is trying to caution ourselves to be careful with this and that.
that's true. Yeah, we learn most of our beliefs before we're seven, and then they're all impacted on us from our experiences that make our beliefs more concrete as we grow and experience them even more. So
Mm.
yeah, that's how come some beliefs last for 30, 40 years or more. And most people stop personal development at the age of 35, which
All
is quite
right.
interesting. Yeah.
Mm. Great. And Leah said she would imagine breathing through stressful situations would help with emotional eating. What do you think? I think a lot of us suffer from emotional eating. Sometimes I do, and when I'm down, quite often I would eat chocolate, dark chocolate usually, and a little bit more, and then a little bit more. And I sometimes I am culprit as well. What do you think, Charlene?
I think breathing would help because you're actually, when you have that thought and your emotions are there, they actually last for about 30 to 40 seconds, and then the emotion will go. It literally will pass. So it's like when you do the meditation and the thought will pass. So just
Mm,
letting it pass, because then if you don't let it pass, it does have a domino effect or a snowball effect. And that's
mm,
why we see it seems to feed off the last emotion.
mm. So when you have a craving, you tell yourself, just put up with it for 30, 40 seconds,
Yeah.
and then it'll
And then,
pass.
yep.
Don't listen to the thought that's trying to tell you to comfort yourself with emotional eating. You can tell yourself
And
emotional eating doesn't work. It doesn't help with the emotion. And just put up with it for 30 seconds.
that's exactly right. It's like just acknowledge the thought and the feeling and then let it pass. And you're not pushing it away, you're just seeing it and then you're just letting it pass by like a cloud. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then
So,
but if
yeah.
yeah, go on.
Yeah. So the cloud just passes by. And I think somebody uses it like a sushi train. It's like a sushi train.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just passes and then you sushi will go away.
I
So you
like
can
that.
think of the sushi train as the craving will eventually go away. Probably doesn't last more than 30 seconds.
Yeah. So it's quite amazing that the power of our thoughts. It's just learning to harness them and learning to harness, yeah, our thoughts and our emotions, because our emotions come from our thoughts, and then our habits come from our thoughts and our emotions. So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that's it. Great. So yeah, even Caroline asked again, do you have any suggestions to stop boredom eating? I find it happens to me even when at work. Yeah, I think we've talked about that. Um, that we have to acknowledge it and try and let it pass, realizing this is only a temporary emotion. The emotion doesn't last. And only 30 seconds you have to put up with. You don't have to put up with it for long. It doesn't last. So yeah, I think hopefully we can equip you to have more tools on how to manage your emotions and cravings and boredom eating and yeah, how to manage it. So Kath said I had to decide to stop using the excuse that I don't have time. Yeah, so quite often we have the excuse that we don't have time. That's often the case with anything. People say I don't have time to exercise, I don't have time to shopping, I don't have time to cook dinner. Those are just excuses, don't you think?
I found I've actually found something from it's called Mind Valley and it's called habit stacking. So you can actually habit stack things for 20 to 30 minutes. So we do them in small blocks and then you can actually fit more things in and therefore you fit more things in and therefore you have more time. So, but
All
to make
right.
sure you fit so you did 30 minutes of relaxation or something and then you could go on to what you want to be achieving. So, because often television and other things take our attention away and you don't get things done. So, we're very good at that.
So do 30 minutes.
You do 30-minute blocks.
Okay.
So,
Set a
you could do,
timer, buy a timer, and then
yep,
put 30
or
minutes
even on
on.
your iPhone. Yeah, put the phone on for 20 minutes on the iPhone for
Okay.
20 to 30 minutes for the timer on there, and then it will just go off, and then you can do your next thing that you need to do.
And don't be distracted by notifications or
Yeah, don't be distracted. Turn them off or turn the phone over. But yeah,
yeah, yeah. Put on
yeah,
do not disturb on the phone so the notifications don't
yeah.
come on.
Because
So
once you get into that state, you get into a flow state, and you just want to keep on where you're going, and you just and the time will just flow by. So, I do this now, like with my own work, with my own business. Like I find like 3 hours just flies away really quickly. It's like I can be making a video and it's 2.5 hours later because I've got into that flow state.
mm,
So if we get into the flow state, it just, yeah, before you know it, you've achieved what you want to achieve for the day.
yeah, yeah, that's great. I think people should use that for like a work or reading and stop being distracted and so the cravings don't come in. And that'll be really good for our mental health. And that might help with
Yeah.
ADHD as well. Everyone's got ADHD at the moment.
I heard about that. I was actually talking to our hypnosis teacher and we were talking about that. And he said it's because of social media. So everybody flicks through
Mm,
everything so quickly, which has caused the ADHD at the moment. So that's what it's
yeah.
from. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so common. Everyone comes into the GP and say, I think I've got ADHD and want a psychiatrist and want medications. But I think it's the social media. I think it's the food, the sugars, the junk food doesn't help with fueling your mind. And they might have not had enough sleep. They might have not have enough sunlight or exercise. That all feeds into the poor mental health and ADHD.
It's definitely a combination, definitely.
Yeah. So Kath said, love attaching a new habit to an existing habit, like breathing after you've brushed your teeth.
Sorry, could you say that again?
So like breathing after you've brushed your
Yeah,
teeth.
that's
So
true. Yeah.
habit
So,
stacking.
yeah. So attach a good habit, like one habit straight after the other, and then keep doing it for about 30 days, and then that will make it a habit. And then you just keep, and then after 3 months, and that actually cements it even more. So, and once that habit's in your life after 30 months, a habit becomes part of your personality.
Great. Recently I started thinking about gratitude while I'm in bed. So I'm starting to build up this habit, and every time I go to bed, I think about my day and I start to think, oh, this is good, and practice gratitude on thinking about all the things that have happened in the day and think about all the things that's gone well and practice gratitude while I'm trying to go to sleep. So I think that has established itself in my bedtime routine now. So I'm pretty proud of thinking about that straight away.
I love gratitude. I do it first thing in the morning. I
Okay.
think of three things about myself, three things about my work or my coaching, and sometimes it's three things about whatever comes up at the time. And it can be as much as like my bed or my fridge or my house. It can be so, or just my breath. It's something so simple, and it just fulfills. It feels, yeah. It's just gives you that feeling of it's up there on the scale. I think it's in the top four in the scale of like frequencies. Gratitude is.
Great. Now,
Yeah.
Easter's just around the corner. What tips have you got for people how to manage Easter?
So for Easter, I would have some tips for Easter as it can be quite challenging and to have those obstacles when Easter has turned around and you've got people that are obviously visiting or you're going somewhere to visit. To embrace like low carb, keto, or carnivore, whichever your chosen path is. Also, have eggs, lean meats, fermented foods, berries, nuts, whatever you feel that is your path in out of those three. Have a mindful indulgence. So as you're actually having some chocolate, actually instead of just eating it, like suck on it and be mindful of the textures, the flavors, the smells, like just be mindful of it and enjoy it instead of like just eating the whole lot at once. And that way you may only want to have, even if you bought some dark chocolate that was 83%, or you may only want one and you still will embrace it and just, and after you've had one or two squares, you don't need any more because you've just had that feeling and yeah, and just the smell of it. So it's more like just getting to embrace the mindfulness of it because I feel we eat too quickly these days.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that will fill us up. And plan ahead. So if you're going to any events or anything, plan ahead and you may be able to take, some lunch or some snacks. Or I know sometimes when I'm driving, I might get beef jerky or something, or I've got like a bone broth that I actually have that I can take and just add hot water to. Like I always plan ahead in that way. So it's always aware and then check out if you're going somewhere, check the menu so you know what is within your lifestyle. So and if not, you ask the people that you just want a plate that's just got chicken and I don't know, lettuce on it, and they might look at you strangely, but don't worry about it. It's like this is your body and your life. So
Yes.
yeah, I've done that a couple of times and got very strange looks, but that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And intermittent fasting. So I just finished a 24-hour fast, and that was because I had COVID last week, so it's actually given me a bit more of an energy boost as well. So yeah, so definitely intermittent fasting if you can fit it in. Some people are really into fasting, some aren't. That's all personal preference. And staying active, so go for a walk. I do yoga and go for walks, and have started resistant training as well. So definitely, I can totally relate. Chocolate was my addiction as well. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think Leah's just saying she can't have one chocolate and it starts my addiction and I'm likely to binge. Abstinence is empowering for me. I agree, me too. I think I can't have
Well
one
done,
chocolate.
Leah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
if you
think
realize that you can't have one, you really shouldn't be starting because you can't regulate it.
yeah, and your brain would just recognize it again.
You
So
light up all
yeah,
the dopamine seeking
yeah,
in the brain, and then if you have one, then you go, oh, let's have more.
yeah. It's just that's how powerful the brain is. That's why learning to that we can actually control the brain and our thoughts and everything else in our life with our brain is really empowering for everybody. So it's not just people that have studied it. It's not just the psychologists. It's everybody has this power within them, and I feel that's what I'm really passionate about is to inspire people to know that they can do this, and it's not just someone who's gone through that transformation. It's all within all of us. And I know when I used to hear stories, I didn't believe them, and now it's obviously through my own path that.
Mm,
And you also change your identity as well as you go through this, and
yep,
that's through your own hard work and belief.
that's it. We can all do it. Doing hard things actually strengthens our mind. The more hard things we do, the more our brain rewires and adapt to doing hard things. Great. Now, our next event is I've organized a dinner at Bucatini Restaurant in Mitcham. That's on the 18th of May. And you're one of our speakers together with, I've got a nutritionist called Carla V. Carter. So we've got two speakers and myself. Tell us what you're going to speak about, Charlene.
I'm actually going to talk about part of my program, but I'm going to look at the holistic approach and how the holistic approach includes the coaching, the nutritional guidance, and more on the hypnosis and the NLP. And also, like, I have practical grocery shopping and meal education sessions and the continued support. So it'll be looking at the holistic approach as part of my program, which is part of, I'm very much like you. I believe the holistic approach is very beneficial, and it just is more rounded. And as we're covered by a mind, body, and spirit, it focuses on all those.
That's great. So yeah, so the ticket's on sale for the dinner. I'm selling it on my website. So if you go to my website, you can buy a ticket to the dinner on the 18th of May. That's a $99. And if you're a Low Carb Pro member, you get $20 off. So that's another, you can join my Low Carb Pro and you can get discounts to these dinners. But tell people where they can find you, Charlene. How can
I'm
yeah,
Go on, sorry.
how can they participate in your NLP or hypnosis coaching?
I'm on Facebook under the name Charlene Lester, and I actually do have a Empowered Wellness group as well, the Empowered Wellness Tribe on Facebook as well. So you're welcome to join my Facebook group. And I'm also on YouTube as well under the Empowered Wellness Coach Charlene. So I know I have videos on there. And I can give Dr. Ava some of my details, and you're welcome to be in touch with Dr. Ava as well to find out more about my programs as well. And
Great.
I'm offering like a free discovery call as well for anyone that's interested.
Sure. So usually these videos are uploaded to my YouTube channel. I will put all the your contact information on the page on the YouTube video. So yeah, I will absolutely share all your information there. Great. Thank you, Charlene. So Bridget says, loved your information, Charlene.
Thank you so much.
So anyone who's got any further question, please put in the chat. Any other questions? I just want to put another plug. This is our Low Carb Pro, which is our membership program, which is $25 a month. Tomorrow, we're talking about physical activity and exercises. Every 2 weeks, we have a topic. It's 7:30 to 8:30, much like this, but a little bit less formal. I let people talk rather than put in chat. So we have a small group. There's about 5 or 6 of us in the Low Carb Pro. Tomorrow we'll talk about exercise. And I've just decided 2 weeks' time we're going to talk about ultra-processed foods, which can be low-carb keto. So you watch out for low-carb keto, ultra-processed foods. So if you want to come and join, that's only $25 a month. And you can see me in my clinic in Wanturna. This is my clinic as a consultation, and as a special, I've got these courses which you can purchase on my website. If you use the code Masterclass, you can get 40% off for any of those courses for the next 3 days. So you can use the code and you can purchase them on my website under online courses for a limit of next 3 days. Does anybody have any other further questions for Charlene? Where's my chat gone? I haven't got my chat up anymore. Have you got anything you'd like to say, Charlene?
I'd just like to say thank you for everybody for turning up. It's been wonderful for you all here, and I appreciate you all taking your time out to come and see Dr. Ava and I and talk about hypnosis, NLP, and unleashing the power of your potential within yourselves. So thank you all very much for that, and for taking the time out for yourselves. And yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Charlene, for coming on, and thank you, everybody, for coming to join us on this informative chat that Charlene's brought us. So I hope it helps your journey. If you need anything, let me know or let Charlene know, and we endeavor to help you along your journey. Thank you, everybody. Before we finish, I want to tell you about an exciting event I'll be hosting. I have planned a low-carb dinner at Bucatini Restaurant in Mitcham on Saturday, 18th of May, 6:30. Please join us in this event with delicious food, inspiring conversations, and practical insights on how to live a low-carb lifestyle. I have invited health coach Charlene Lester and nutritionist Carla V. Carter as guest speakers. I have organised sponsors with prizes in the goodie bags. We have plenty of time to ask questions and connect with each other. And we'll have an amazing lucky draw with lots of contribution from our sponsors. So please join me in this amazing event I have put together for you. Don't miss out, reserve your spot, tickets are limited. Head to my website or check out the show notes for more details. Hope to see you there. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Prescribing Lifestyle. We hope you found today's discussion insightful and motivating. Remember, your health journey is a marathon, not a sprint. Implementing small, sustainable changes over time can lead to sustainable improvements in your well-being. Remember, these podcasts are not to be treated as medical advice. You should see your own doctor for medical treatment, or you can come in to see me in my clinic in Melbourne Low Carb Clinic, face-to-face or telehealth Australia-wide. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and continue bringing you valuable content. I also want to invite you to head to the website of Melbourne Local Clinic to download a free ebook and join my free community on Facebook. Stay connected with us on the socials. And don't forget to share this podcast with your friends and family who might benefit from our discussions. Until next time, keep prioritizing your health and embrace the power of lifestyle medicine. Take care and see you soon on Prescribing Lifestyle.